All right, y'all. It's getting real. Go ahead, step away from the kids, because let's move away from the kids first. Even step away from your husband or your boyfriend if you have that as well, because we're about to be very, very honest. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the village. It is your sister Ashante, and yeah. Today we are going there. Today we are being our usual honest selves. I will say that this video is a little difficult for me to make because it is hard as a mom already. And then when you put in there a homeschool mom, it kind of feels like the pressure doubles. And even if it's not pressure from everybody else, the pressure you put on yourself. So when you start having thoughts of quitting or negative thoughts, it's hard to say them. It's hard to find a village to talk to and to be honest with. But that is why we're the village, right? So, little housekeeping. If this is your first time to the village, welcome. I usually have a little song for you, but today I'm so nervous, I'm not doing it. But if you came here and you saw the thumbnail, you saw the title, and you're like, this is going to talk me out of homeschooling, this is going to be why I don't homeschool, sis, I'm sorry, you're at the wrong place. This channel was birthed out of wanting to encourage and inspire parents, particularly single parents, to homeschool. That is what we're about. With any good thing, there are times when you have negative thoughts. So this is not going to talk you out of homeschooling. What it will do is probably validate some of the feelings that you may have had or are currently having. With that said, we're just going to jump right in because I'm going to talk myself out of it if I don't. All right, as you guys know, I don't go in any particular order. The way they come to my mind is the way that they come to you. So number one probably isn't number one, and last on my list probably isn't last on my list. But here we go. Yeah, time. Time in homeschool can be so much, especially when you're first starting or when you're transitioning grades. And if you've watched any of my other videos, or if you have been researching homeschooling, which of course I hope you have been if you're thinking about doing it, you know that you're usually done with homeschooling. Like, your homeschool day can be done in 2 hours. So the actual day itself does not take a lot of time. What takes time from you as the parent is getting it together, creating the curriculums, reviewing the curriculum with the child, and then making sure they get it, reinforcing the curriculum, going over their homework. All of that can take so much time. Now, if you are one of those people that, like, I could have saved myself time if I bought a specific curriculum and just used it for everything. Like, there are curriculums like Sunlight or Abeka where they have your math, your language arts, your history, all of that stuff, and you can literally just pull out all of their books and this is your homeschool curriculum. I don't like that for a couple of different reasons, which we may go over at another time. But the main one is I want to make sure that my daughter's education is tailored to her. That's something that kids can't get in school. Like, it's a very generic education. Everybody learns about the same thing. Whereas with what I'm trying to do, I want her to get bits of information, especially history, that I didn't get. I want to see exactly where she is on math, hone in on those things, take our time. So it definitely takes more time from me in doing that. With taking time to, get all these things together, it does take away from personal mom me time. Once again, if you have, my doggy needs a lot of love, which I'm happy she's here because I'm struggling. But if you've watched any of my other videos, I've done a whole video about how to create time for yourself as a single homeschooling parent, because it can be a lot. I utilize those tricks and tips all the time because I do have to balance life. Homeschooling can be so demanding that if you let it, it will take over everything. Your whole Facebook timeline will be homeschool. You won't even be able to talk to your other friends about regular stuff because all you can think about is homeschool. So trying to find that balance and getting the time needed to prepare your child and prepare their future basically, and still take care of yourself, it can be quite daunting, like really quite daunting. Next. So, okay, we talked about if I had used a curriculum throughout, if I just buy one curriculum and use it all for everything, it would save me time, and it would greatly save me time, but it would literally come at a cost of 3 to 4 times as much of what I'm paying right now. Homeschooling can be expensive if you let it. Now, of course, you don't have to let it. I'm that thrifty mom, but you will sacrifice some time trying to figure out how to make it cheaper. Now, there are some online curriculums that are completely free. Easy Peasy is one that comes to mind immediately. Uh, I would say it's not cookie cutter. They do go through some deeper things. That's for a different thing. Either way, there are some online curriculums that are free, but 80% of what you're going to have to do with homeschooling, you're going to pay for, whether that be your curriculum or your extracurriculars. With regular schooling or with public-private schooling, however you want to label it, they have their clubs and their extracurriculars already included in the tax dollars that you actually are still paying. But as a homeschooler, if you want your child to do coding, swimming, basketball, sewing, drama, any of these things, you are paying for them out of pocket. Now, I've gotten some incredible deals. In a lot of the homeschool co-ops, you'll find other moms or previous teachers who give these great deals. My daughter has learned some piano. She's learned Japanese, sign language. All of these things, I found amazing deals on them, but I still paid for them. So it's not like you get a lot of free things. I have found free things, but they're few and far between, and because they're free, they fill up like that. So the cost itself it can be frustrating, especially as a single parent. You're already balancing everything, and your daughter or your son who was on the basketball team before at his school wants to continue on a basketball team, and now you may have to add in $173, which is really ridiculous. How do they come up with these rates? But you may have to add in $173 per month for his basketball. Where do you find the money sometimes? So there's that. Okay, so this is something that literally goes both ways. Okay, um, I've already talked about, it's very sensitive, as you can tell. I've already talked about how much time we've spent getting this curriculum together, how much money I spent putting you in this coding class, and you want to give me attitude. You want to tell me how you don't want to do this today. Why? I don't understand why. There are times where your child is a child. At the end of the day, they're still a kid. And it can be very frustrating for their mom to also be their teacher, especially when their friends, they may or may not be homeschoolers. If their friends aren't really homeschoolers and they're able to go to school and have like the regular school experience, they may not have somebody they can vent to as easily who understands. And so it can be very frustrating for them to have the person who told them to clean their room also be the person teaching them fractions. It can be very tough. But like I said, it goes both ways, because a lot of times I'll notice that if my daughter gives me attitude, I really take it personal, because I'm like, I made these sacrifices and you are getting upset with me. I don't need this. I have 2 degrees. It's like Rochelle off of Everybody Hates Chris when she's like quitting a job. I don't need this. My man got 2 jobs. What does it help to put that in the atmosphere for your child? These are some things that I've had to talk to myself about. Not like literally, because I'm not crazy, you know. But just reminding myself that this is normal. I am not alone in this frustration. And I think what makes it tough is when you go on homeschool sites, when you go on YouTube looking up homeschool videos, when you talk to Sarah at the co op, everybody's so ridiculously bubbly and happily. You think they're on Percocet and Xanax. They are just so over the moon elated. And you're like, how is this possible, Sarah? You got 5 kids and I have one. What the heck, Sarah? That's just, we're just going to probably edit all that out. I'm not sure. Anyway, but it definitely goes both ways. And what's hard is when, like I said, when you get that attitude, sometimes it really does make you feel unappreciated, and it makes, at least me, it makes me want to just throw in the towel. Like, just forget it. I don't need this. I have so much on my plate already. I don't want to put another thing on there. Can we just keep being honest? I mean, we're already on the honest train, so let's just choo-choo it straight on forward. There are times where I'm selfish. I said it. I can be selfish. I can have a day where I don't want to do anything. I'm off. Yesterday was a very hard day at work. I just want to sleep in. I just want to get my feet done. I just want to get a massage. I just want to eat ice cream in bed. I don't know if these thoughts are normal. These are some of my normal thoughts. But when you're a homeschool parent, you don't get that luxury all the time. It's funny because I was looking up like countries that are homeschool safe, because if you have followed us for a while, you know, one of the things I want to do is continue to world school, go to these different places, actually live there and homeschool as we do it. And there are obviously some countries you can't go to where homeschooling is completely illegal. I think we were looking at Mexico before we visited down there, and they were talking about how there really aren't any laws against homeschooling, but when you talk to the locals, they'll say things like, why would you want to keep your child for an additional 8 hours? It's like a free babysitter. Why don't you send them there? And it's funny because it makes sense. You know, when my daughter was in school, you know, and like I said, this is a non-judgmental zone, so I hope that you can be honest with me while I'm honest with you. When my daughter was in school, I would go and I was training for my marathon. I would go get my nails done, get a massage, and then come home and take a nap. You know, there was more time for me to do stuff for me, and to have that cut. My dog just farted. to have, oof, it's Rebecca. To have that cut, at first it was exciting because we were doing something new, and then it became a little bit more tough. Now, what I will say is, if you struggle, I'll wait for that. We'll get to the end. Sis. On to the next one. All right. We say we're going to be real, and this is going to be real. Doubt, particularly self-doubt, has talked so many people out of homeschooling. And one thing about it, if you're new to homeschooling, self-doubt doesn't leave. It may decrease one day and increase the next day, but it does not leave. Example, we can have a day where I just feel like my daughter is getting it. And that is one of the best things about homeschooling. You get to see it click. You get to see it make sense. You get to literally be there when the light bulb goes on, and it's amazing. There is nothing better for me, at least for my daughter, to work through a problem and see the smile. I'm like, that's right. When she gets it, it's so rewarding. So you'll have a day or you'll have weeks where it's just great. And then at night, some elf must come in, erase all of that memory, because when they wake up the next day, poof, it's gone. They can't remember what the numerator is, where the denominator goes. They can't remember el from la in Espanol. They can't remember anything. And you begin to doubt again. Am I a good enough teacher? am I screwing her up for life? Because when they're in like a regular school system, I can blame the teachers. I can blame the district. When it's homeschool, I can only blame me. Is she on par with her fellow students her age? If she's not, why? Is it me? I worry sometimes about her going to college. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I worry about how is that going to look? Am I messing her up in that way? Do I have her in too many extracurriculars trying to compensate for the fact that she's not in school? Or do I not have enough and that's why she's bored? Am I not giving her the structure she needs because she's able to study on her own? Self-doubt yells at you sometimes. And the thing that is the loudest, at least for me, is she on par with her peers? Am I doing enough? Never am I like, yes, we are right there. This is perfect. Is this enough? Doubt will kill your aspirations and your dreams, and it will kill your homeschool career. And I feel like, I don't know, sometimes kids feel that. That confidence that we aren't portraying, they feel it. I think that all of these thoughts are normal. This is what I was getting to before. All of these thoughts are normal. But if you're having these thoughts every single day, you may need to re-examine. I didn't say stop, but maybe re-examine. I actually, to continue being honest, I was having those issues when we started with harder math. Once we start getting into like pre-algebra, I really had a lot of negative thoughts. And then it just came to me to outsource. Once again, more money. But I got a tutor. And boom. Hearing it from somebody else was all she needed. It's not that I'm a bad teacher. I'm just not the best teacher for pre-algebra. For her. And it's not about me. Did I like paying that money to that person? Absolutely not. Did I feel like I was doing a darn good job? You better believe it. But it wasn't showing. So it's not about me. It's about making sure my daughter has what she needs to go forward. And even though I worry about if she's on par, screw that par. We don't do for average. I want us to be better. We put a lot of pressure on ourselves. That was a lot. I hope it helped you. If you've ever had a thought like this, if you're having thoughts like this, if this helps you in any way, please do me a favor, comment below, like the video. This is a village. I'm not doing this just to get clicks and likes and all of this. I'm doing this so we have a place where we are just so honest with one another. It's a woo-saw, we can breathe moment. All right, guys. I'll talk with you later. Bye.